Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna paint out a tree. There is no tree there, so I'm gonna use the shovel as my tree. Show you how to get a nice round painted. It's gonna be at least a 3-foot radius. We're gonna have a big tree here, so I'm gonna go a little bit wider. So there's my point. Keep the tree steady. Okay, that's about as round as you need it. Now you still got to run the machine on that, so you know, having a perfectly round circle isn't going to be an issue anyway. But there's no need in taking a tape measure and all that other kind of stuff when you can just do that. If there was a tree there, I would have my hand on the tree and get my arms at the right distance. So I'm going to leave this run. It's starting a circle like this. You want to make sure he's got his foot in the front. And I'm going to start the hitch, okay, which is my skid, outside the line, you know, a little bit farther than normal, and then I'm going to turn that in real quick so I can make this curve. Your paint line is only as good as who's running the machine and how well you're running the machine. I might be out a little bit right there, but you know, when we finish this up, we'll just take a look at it. I went a little wider on this than I normally do. You're gonna have a big shade tree here, maple. I'm not concerned 1 year, 2 years, 5 years down the road. I'm concerned about 10 years down the road when that really grows. I want to make sure that's far enough away from the base of that tree. So we'll go ahead and trowel this. Gonna make sure I got you know, pressure on the low side, because that's where you're gonna have the weakest point. Nice mix. It's gonna be really easy. If you notice too, I did a wheelie at the beginning to make sure that this was high enough up. That way I don't have to do more hand packing as I come around. Okay, I'm going to keep my finger at the bottom here. I want to push it in. And now I can push in, roll my knuckle on top, and make sure I get the top and the bottom at the same time. If you got a good mix, it's really easy. On a tree ring this big, you know, he's just going to go at about an 18-inch spacing on that. When we get to the end, we'll make sure that we even them out. If it's a smaller ring, usually we cut one 12 and 6, so we cut the other one, split it, split it, split it. That way you get everything even. Something this big, just start going around. It's not a big deal. I want you to notice too on this, as I'm running the machine, I got my hand underneath the handle. It's not over, it's under. And if you keep your elbow at the same length the whole way around the tree ring, you can basically get that ring perfect, even if your lines aren't drawn correctly. Got my body on the outside of the machine, hand underneath. If you make sure you do a wheelie at the beginning, you can get that to lift up. You don't got to add a whole bunch here. You have a big dip then. So if you can do that at the beginning, it's just going to save you a little bit more time. Make sure your first joint is far enough away, because you're going to have to trowel this, so make sure that's far enough away. whenever you get done, take a look and see your level. Pretty decent right there. I shouldn't have to do much more adding. I might have a little spot right here, but other than that, it's a really good mix. It's easy. Put a little bit right here. I made a little mark there earlier. You really want to make sure that you put your joint where you connected. It doesn't matter that I troweled over that. We'll go ahead and redo that again. But if you do these first, then he can even out the rest to make sure all the joints match. Okay, so he'll just start going backwards now. Right here. Yep, somewhere right in there, and just keep it pretty even. Those are good mixes, so it's good. And so he'll just feather that out, or even that out all the way around. And then if you have any little bumps, or it kind of looks like an eyeball or an egg, then you can go ahead and adjust that. It looks really good. So obviously a lot easier on sandy soil like this. Much easier if the tree's there, but that's pretty round. It's a good thing to get in the habit of making a mark there. Sometimes I forget. He's made a little mark right there so we know where we're connecting, because once you do a bunch of hand packing, sometimes it's hard, and you want to make sure you have a joint there so you don't have any cracking. But just space your joints evenly apart, and everything comes out pretty well. Usually where you meet up is where you tend to have a little bump. So it's one of the places you have to adjust. The mixes are good. These aren't that difficult, but I mean today we're on perfect level ground, sandy soil, so it's a lot easier here. You must have a minimum charge for a tree ring. Right. Minimum footage too. Right. Tell somebody that's wanting these that you have a 25-foot minimum. So if they want a tighter tree ring, you're gonna have to do more work. They need to pay for 25 feet because it's all handwork. Charge for your time. So he's going to go ahead and recut that, and then he's going to cut evenly back here. That's where we started, and that's where we met up. After he gets the joints cut, then we can do some adjusting if we need to. Everything looks pretty good here though.